So we don't need to do a traditional engine run-up where we pull over and we run up the engine to a high RPM unless we use avgas. If we're using leaded gas, then we have to burn the spark plugs clean. But all we do on our taxis, turn the key from main to aux. Notice the engine dies for just a second, comes right back. We look for this light coming on, and that's our aux pump being turned on, so we know it works. And this is a fault. That's what a fault would look like. If it was normal, we wouldn't see that, so we'll get rid of that. Then that's what a normal check would look like. Then we just flip the key back to main, and we make sure that the engine continues to run. Everything looks good. There's no SE defaults. And then we just check the automatic pump, backup pump mechanism by pushing this into test. And we're actually depowering the main fuel pump right now. So as the fuel pump pressure drops, notice that this light is flashing. Our aux pump lamp flashes to catch our attention, letting us know that it had turned it on automatically for us. And that's the 2 checks that we have to do. We skip the whole run-up, and boy, sometimes people get a little bit upset when you jump in front of them because they don't understand, but it saves time and a lot of money actually when you line it up. Okay, we're just coming up on the takeoff threshold. And Cessna 2 Charlie X-ray is ready to go.
November 2 Charlie X.
Cessna 2 Charlie X-ray, clear for takeoff.
9 Julia Papa, only 17 right.
Alright, so approach end is clear.
17 right, clear for the option, 9 Julia Papa.
Pumps, so we'll make sure the pumps stay in the auto position since they tested. Strobes are on, and transponder goes to altitude. Landing light is on. One more check that the approach end is clear. It is. Make sure this is our correct runway.
30 going around. Fast track 30, roger. Continue following.
And this is our correct runway. So standard procedures, just like the standard 172, we're going to push this throttle all the way to max power. Max power is set. We're going to make sure that all our lamps are out and there's no faults that are flashing at us on the SED. Airspeed's alive, and here we go. And there's 55, and here comes our rotation. And we're off. One more check of the engine indications. Everything is normal. Nothing's illuminated. And the SED would be flashing at us if there was a problem. And there's several screens on the SED with different information that the pilot can actually program what he wants to see. Right now we're looking at our tachometer, our engine temperature, our fuel flow, and fuel pressure. But if you just want to see one, like the, for instance, the RPM indication, you could just use the RPM indication. And that is going to alert you if there was something that was exceeding limits as well. So you don't have to monitor all these engine instruments like you would on the older aircraft. It really takes the workload off the pilot flying. So let's see what we got here. So we're climbing.
Fast track 30, number 2 to follow the diamond in the base turn.
There's about 900 feet right there. Pretty good for a beat up old airplane. This is the end of the runway we're coming up on, and we're just about 900 feet above the end of the runway. Really great performance, especially for a beat up old airplane from 1969. And that performance, again, is really super cool, but it really gives you a lot of options in case you lost an engine on takeoff, because you're going to lose about 400 to 500 feet in that turn back to the runway, and you're probably only going to be about 400 feet above the ground in most situations, and that's why they call it the impossible turn. We're clear left. There comes our traffic pattern altitude. Bring it back to around 2,500 RPM or so, 24, 25. That'll keep us in the white arc for flap extension, which is a good speed on the downwind. And our after takeoff checklist is really simple. Its flaps are up and off. These old Cessnas have an off position. It is up and off. And the engine checks, again, nothing's illuminated and nothing's flashing at you. So We're on our downwind. Here comes our before landing checklist. Again, a real easy landing checklist because, again, we don't have a mixture control or a carburetor heat to deal with. Its gas is on both. It is, just like the regular Cessna. Landing light is on. It is on. And seat belts are secure. They are secure. Landing checklist is complete. Here. Getting bounced around a little bit of a downdraft, a little bit of an updraft. And right now, this airplane's costing us about 19 bucks an hour to fly with fuel and engine reserves. So it's really inexpensive. With the original engine, we were at about $64 an hour to fly with oil, gas, and engine reserves. So it's pretty cheap to fly. And we find ourselves using it a lot more. We bring this power back a little bit.